So I just wanted to get together since it's already, we had access to these videos for 2 weeks or for 6 weeks total. From Mega Camp, we're about 2 weeks away from losing access. November 15th is when the login will expire. So I just wanted to have an opportunity for people to get together to talk about some of the favorite videos they've watched, maybe things they didn't initially see when Mega Camp was, but things they've been able to revisit since it's a lot easier to watch the breakout sessions now, and any recommendations that you'd like to share with other people in the office. I am going to take notes so that I can post this and send it out to everybody as well. But is there anything that someone has watched since Mega Camp that really resonated with them, that they feel like they took a lot away from? Victoria or Amy? Frank, you want to get us started?
Yeah, well, I think number one, I mean, we definitely have to make sure we see Gary's updates, which are also will be available on KW Connect, but definitely the market update with Gary Keller, which was on day one, and then even the while it's still available, the interviews on day one with Gary, but then with Josh Team, the keynote on the second day, and then Josh also had. Again, Josh's recordings are there, and Mo Anderson. So those are the big three, Gary, Josh, and Mo. Mo, obviously, the cultural summit on the last day. But those are all, can't miss episodes.
I really liked the Gary Keller interviews, especially the Tim Ferriss keynote. I definitely want to go back and rewatch. I think I rewatched it once because they said that they were going to post the full interview, it was going to be longer than what was originally shared on the original day. But hold on, it's not though. It's still just a 20-minute interview, so that's kind of a bummer. But I think even like you said, Frank, going back and watching some of the day one keynote speeches, because I don't know if you guys remember, but day one was such a long info-packed day that I definitely did not absorb absolutely everything. I've watched Gary Keller's market update probably 3 times at this point, because I agree that I think that's really great information. And then Josh, let me see if I can find them on here. Is there a way to organize this alphabetically? Yes. Josh Team's interview was really great as well. He interviewed Facebook. He has his interview with Brad Inman, which I think was really insightful as well. So that's definitely a good one to go rewatch. And of course, the Mo Anderson's Cultural Summit is a nice mood lifter. Let me see if I can. Right. Well, I guess I don't know how everything is titled, so ordering them alphabetically wasn't super helpful. I actually just finished watching this List to Last class, and I really enjoyed that. It's Jackie Ellis. She was the panel leader, but she just kind of led the discussion and talking with listing agents throughout the country. And it's kind of cool because one of the agents that she spoke with works in Philadelphia and central New Jersey. So it was really similar to, what a lot of our agents are seeing as well, where she's just kind of tending to see more motivated sellers than she has in the past. And what I like about the panels too is just hearing all the different scripts that people use to kind of try to execute the same goal. If you haven't, I know one of the most popular breakout sessions was the script battle. I remember a lot of people brought that up when we had our initial, I'm trying to find it now. I know it's on here. I think it's Choose Your Script Champion, isn't it? That's what it's called. When we had our initial kind of mastermind, Choose Your Script Champion Road to Family Reunion, that's what a lot of people brought up as what was very impactful to them. And so I made sure I rewatched that in the past couple of weeks, and I completely agree. If you have not watched the Choose Your Script Champion Road to Family Reunion, I would highly, highly recommend that. Have you had a chance to watch that one, Frank?
Yes, and actually those scripts are available for download.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
watched
sure.
that as well many times, Nicole. It was really awesome.
It was really cool because I like seeing again like people trying to execute the same goal but like like with their personal voice, and like just there's so many different ways you can kind of communicate the same thing.
And for entertainment purposes, Jason is just crazy.
He is. It's also entertaining because it feels very competitive. Because if you haven't watched it, it's like two agents that are head to head. All have the same situation, but they have their own specific scripts, and like the strategy of like, well, who's gonna read their script first? Do I want to go first or second? So it's definitely entertaining to watch too.
I'll put the link in the chat box for the scripts.
Oh, thanks, Frank.
What else is interesting here?
Too.
Yeah, sorry. What's also interesting here is the actual way that you're viewing this. If you could just slide to the left a little bit and show people how you got to the video collection.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to make it full screen. So I just logged into megacamp2020.com and then went to the video library.
Right. So it's a lot faster just to get right to the video content instead of fumbling through like I was doing for a while on the agenda. But the videos.
Oh, yeah. I didn't know you were doing that.
Video library was an aha for me.
Yeah. And I what I discovered today is that you can, again, choose how to sort it, but like you can sort it by length, which is great because I had an hour before this started and I wanted to squeeze in another video. So I sorted it by length and then kind of scrolled down towards the bottom to find some of the longer ones so that I wouldn't have to, like play multiple videos. But I've really enjoyed all the ones that I've watched. One that I watched as soon as like Mega Camp was over, if I can find it again, I'm going to organize them alphabetically again because I had it up on the screen before. This Bend Towards Justice. So they had a couple breakout sessions focused on social equity, since that is as a focus of Keller Williams right now. And this was my favorite one that I attended with that purpose. Again, they had so it's Bend Towards Justice, building a thriving business through equity and inclusion. So they had agents from across the country just kind of talking about their experiences and how it's impacted their business. They also seem to like have known each other previously. So there's some nice banter kind of going back and forth. And it's just very easy to watch. And I think a great one to view as well. So I would definitely recommend that one. And all right, like I said, I'm writing these down so that I can share and send out to everyone who attended and has access.
Yeah. Beyond that, a lot of what we heard, obviously there's some pretty big, powerful numbers in there around the consumers and what they're doing.
Right.
800 million videos daily, live streams on Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah, I think that was in here in the Josh Team interviews, right? When he talked to Facebook.
Yeah. Just in general, the trend showing an increased demand in consumer for on-demand information. Obviously, there was a call to action throughout, to get more engaged in a type of video and online content.
Yeah, and I think that's pretty consistent. Like you said, it was throughout, because even the list to last class I just watched, they talked about that. Jackie Ellis talked about that, and just kind of building, as a way to stay in touch with your database, but also like building your own credibility with how well you know the market, really communicating what's going on in the market through social media, through filming those videos. Just kind of, in addition to all of the other changes that are going on with our world, like Gary's been saying, we're kind of in the middle of the fourth industrial revolution with technology. And right, is it the fourth one?
Yes, his fourth.
Okay. So really leaning into using technology as well.
I'm just looking. Go ahead.
No, I just I'm thinking of other ones that were recommended in case you haven't watched it yet. Is the luxury market ones were really popular. And I hate to put you on the spot, Wendy, but I know you watched the luxury breakout sessions.
I watched them too, Nicole.
Oh, you did? What did you think, Amy?
Yeah. So yeah, the luxury ones, because I mean we tie in a bit with some of the luxury stuff through the horse farm. So actually, what I really enjoyed was watching the luxury module and taking from it basically that what some of these agents have done to build their luxury markets in their areas is really, really simple. And again, it goes back even to the MREA, that you can become a luxury agent just by following the models of the MREA. And a lot of it is definitely relationship building and understanding trends. And I think that was really important because going along with the keynotes of Gary Keller and Josh Team, basically, following these trends, knowing what buyers and sellers are looking for, definitely gives you such an advantage, in the marketplace. So these luxury agents, like they've essentially taken that model and just duplicated it at a higher price point. So they're selling, in the luxury price point, $650, $750 and above, and depending what their market centers constitute luxury. I mean, there are some areas in the country where, luxury is anything 500,000 and over. So it just depends where they are. But it was just really interesting to see, they are all really working at, not only delivering, that extra special experience for their buyers and sellers, but, just really being at the end of the day, a people person who truly cares about, their clients and giving that kind of concierge service where, the buyers and sellers really appreciate all that extra attention. And there's little tidbits, I think, in all of them that an agent, selling at any price point could really utilize. So I found those to be very, very helpful.
Yeah, because it's all about customer service at the end of the day, right? Regardless of the price point and relationship building.
Absolutely. And I mean, even things from Mega Camp, which was last month, right? September, so I'm losing track of days. Even taking some very small tidbits. So Stacy and I said, look, even if we get like 1 or 2 tidbits out of each session that we watch and we implement it into our business, we've gone on already a couple, listing appointments in the very high price ranges. Today, I'm finalizing a $1.1 million offer. So like I said, and again, it's coming from, working with these clients who, we really have established, those great relationships with, and, we're with them every step of the way. So, yeah. So it's been really nice to add this. And then again, just because of Mega Camp, being a month ago, Stacey and I are taking it upon ourselves, like as a personal goal, to actually go back through and reread MREA because we haven't done it in about 4 years. And some of these agents are actually reading MREA once a year. There's a couple that are reading it every 6 months. And it just is basically like a Bible, so to say, just kind of reading it and just driving home like all the points. And it's so simple, like when you look at the systems, but like those systems are so powerful that if you truly follow them, then, you can absolutely, I mean, the sky's the limit, and then combining it with the support of the Market Center with KWP. I mean, it's just incredible what you can accomplish in this business.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing that, Amy. That's great that you're rereading MREA. I think a lot of agents are always trying to look for like the newest best thing, but like the tried and true systems and models are always a good place to go back to build from. Yeah, like Peter just said in the chat, it's like building stone for everything else. And exactly. I'm so, and also great job on the offer too. That's great. I'm glad that you've, kind of made some applicable changes to since Mega Camp happened. Because that's always the goal, right? Like training without implementation is just entertainment. So we have to put this information to good use.
Absolutely.
Victoria, did you have any? Have you watched any standout videos since, or had any favorites from? I don't think. Let me stop my share real quick and pull up our AHA spreadsheet.
I watched a lot of command videos related to what I was doing. So
Nice. That's great. Yeah, because I think you had shared with us before that taking command of command, and we have a lot more training coming up in November for that too. We have a couple, like a DocuSign bootcamp coming up. Scott Leroy Marketing actually just redid their training calendar too. And I just finished putting that's what I was doing while I was watching Jackie Ellis's list to last video, was putting all of the Scott Leroy Marketing training onto the training calendar as well. So there's definitely a lot of good resources out there to help with command too. I think that was definitely one of my main takeaways from MegaCam 2 is just how many tools are available to help agents through command.
that's true. And I also kind of like got inspired by the speech, Gary's speech, and I tackled the one thing, and that was pretty interesting and entertaining as well.
You mean by reading the one thing or tackling your own personal one thing?
Oh, well, I kind of did both.
Okay.
So, and I decided that my one thing for now is the command.
Nice. That's great. So what is tackling that look like for you?
Well, you see, from what I gathered, you can have a big thing somewhere over there, but the way you go, you just set the small goal, tackle it, achieve it, go on to the next one. That's the only way, because if you just spread around, you're just spreading around.
Right. It's easy. Like, it's just all about figuring out that first domino, right? Like, what's that first thing you need to do that's going to knock over those subsequent larger dominoes?
Yes. And this is what I decided to do, because you can do the FB advertisement through the command and on all of that, and just start and see how it's going to go. And from there, you can, widen your horizon from there.
Absolutely. That's great. Have you launched your first campaign through command?
No, not yet, because I need to put the Twilio account, this account, so I'm kind of in that twilight zone.
Yeah. Well, make sure, Scott Leroy Marketing, if you haven't reached out to them before, they can absolutely help you out with a lot of that, getting like the profiles set up, getting your Twilio account created, making sure it's like linked with your DocuSign, that they can really help a lot out with the just initial kind of building it out, so that you can focus more on how to use it once it is built out.
All right. Well, that's the goal for now.
Awesome. Here, I'll go ahead and put their email in the chat box.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
No problem.
You go, V.
Thank you. Hi, Wendy.
Hey.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, V. It's as you're scrolling through, when we read, most of us looked at those videos again, and it was funny, the one about your finances and what you don't need. That was great. He was great. Stop spending money on stupid stuff.
I think that was one of the keynotes, right? That was Keith Cunningham, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Keith Cunningham's keynote is definitely.
Yeah, that was do fewer stupid things.
Do fewer stupid things.
I love that.
That was great.
A lot of people's takeaway.
If I could just figure out that they were stupid before I actually did them, that'd be great.
Yeah, there's the whole thing. But like a lot of people, even in subsequent training to Mega Camp, like Business by the Book and everything, there were people on the calls that are newer agents, and they find it overwhelming, right? Of all the things that you can do. But like Amy said, just take one or two things each time to build, because it's just, obviously to implement every one of these every one of these hour or 2 hour or 3 hour videos, it would swamp you. And so you have to do that, take what they have, plus continue your business, right, at a higher and higher level. So that's an important thing to remember.
Definitely. Well, I do think that, like, because we've talked about a couple common threads that have woven their way through. So I sometimes feel like rewatching these videos can like reinforce what were those one or two things that I wanted to change because of what I saw. Like, I feel like the videos almost like reinforce and like remind me and hold me accountable for that. It's like, oh yeah, that's something that I said I really wanted to commit to. What have I done for that? That I make sure whatever changes I want to make are on the calendar. Also, though, like as a reason to continue attending training, right? If you're just implementing one or two things each time, you do want to take business planning clinic every time it comes by. You do want to go to Mega Camp every year, because even if it's similar information, right, it's going to resonate with you differently depending on where you're at in your business.
Oh yeah, and the different presenters definitely bring a different twist to it. So
Yes.
rarely, and even if it's the same presenter or the same trainer or the same education, you always hear something different the next time.
Right. Absolutely. I'm trying to. I did go back and watch a lot of these top agent interviews. Yeah, he was in same person. I can't remember his name. He was also in the list to last class, but he's very persistent with reaching out to FSBOs and follow up. So if you are looking at getting, working with for sale by owners, I definitely recommend checking that one out. And I'm trying to think. A lot of these top agent interviews are really quick too, and really helpful.
Yeah, I actually got a lot out of them as well.
Awesome.
The top agent interviews were very good.
Yeah, and they're like quick and to the point. So if you're just looking for one or two points, you're going to get it in like less than 10-15 minutes.
Yeah, and I think what's really neat is each agent really has something innovative that they've done for themselves and, in their market. And, they've built, really high volume businesses, really using whatever tactic it is, and they're sharing it in their interview. So I think that's really great. The ones I liked were the Winning with Buyer events. I can't think of her name, but she's from Boston. And then the other one was the Facebook Be Fun. She's, I think, from Florida. And it was just really neat to see again how, again, with Stacy and I would do a lot more networking. That's kind of our style. So again, we really want to get into, having some more buyer and seller events and having them be safe, productive events during COVID. And she had actually had an event at a brewery, which was really, really neat. And it drew a lot of people to her. And then the Facebook group was also really neat. She started her own Facebook group for her community, and it's really taken off. And, people do see her as a
expert
community. Yep. Mm-hmm, exactly.
Yeah, I checked out those same two. Thank you so much for bringing them up, because I especially remember the Winning with Buyer events, because she was typically doing like the first time home buyer events like on a nice day, right, in an office, and wasn't seeing the attendance. So she transitioned to hosting it at a brewery, which was fun, and of course bringing local business. And now she's transitioned to doing them online and kind of just because that's what her area necessitated at the time. But just, I liked how she was an example of constantly like adapting, not doing the same thing that wasn't working. She was always like, all right, this isn't achieving the goal I want it to do. How can I tweak it to get it there?
Yeah, that one was, they were both really good.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely agree. I'm trying to think of other.
Well, one of the things that I really enjoyed was a breakout around luxury. And I just, I know as a market center, we're trying to work more towards building our luxury brand around the Princeton area specifically. So that was a very not only encouraging, but enlightening session for me, because it really brought home the message that luxury is a standard of service. And so it's really about having a game of service and a white glove, so to speak, service for your clients. And it's not really about the number of people, but it's really about building your value proposition to those luxury clientele and building those relationships so that they are solid leads for you in the luxury market. And I just thought that was just the message in general about how it's a standard of service is something that I thought as a market center that we really needed to hone in on in our agents that want to work in luxury, because I think that's a very missed point about the standard of service and what those types of clientele expect. So that was really eye-opening for me, and the two agents that they had doing it, they just described what kinds of services they provide. And it was just, and I'm sure Amy, you're probably a little more in tune with this based on where you work in, but I just thought it was really a very good experience for me to just hear what the expectations are of clients so that we know how to better prepare our agents that are interested in breaking into the luxury brand here in the Princeton area.
Absolutely.
And then in terms of, I loved Gary's market update. I just thought he had a lot of great things to say and share with us about how people are affected right now in the pandemic and the unemployment and who's affected and how that can be a domino effect. So that was just really, I think, important for all of us to hear.
Amy, you're going to add something?
Well, what was that?
Oh, I was just.
No, Wendy was mentioning the luxury, and I said that definitely, absolutely, it's, even though at the higher price point, you're still implementing the systems, you're still hand holding with the clients, and you're still doing everything, through the real estate transaction process. But again, just adding, like Wendy said, a little bit of the white glove, going a little bit extra step. We do it for all our clients, like I said, regardless of price point. But again, luxury is no different, from the basics of the MREA model and, expanding it. Just basically, the price point's different, and that's about it. But at the end of the day, you'll meet some great, really down to earth people, in the luxury market. And, they just want to be, like I said, treated, with respect and understand the process and shown, thankfulness and gratitude at the end.
Yep.
Very true. Along the lines of luxury, that's the opportunity and the challenge, to differentiate ourselves. There's definitely, competitors in the local marketplace who've established themselves based upon their level of service. And you can actually see it, in their agents. If the company has a very rigorous approach to the luxury market, then their agents have been very, well coached around those conversations. So, as part of our competitive model, where we can learn a lot from those, what they call in the infinite game, the worthy, what do they call it, Peter? The worthy rivals. So the point is that, you can learn a lot from your competitors. There's some sayings, you can learn a lot from your enemies. Not that they're enemies, but certainly paying attention to what they're doing, would help, helps to raise our bar, here at KW Princeton. And again, we're serving pretty wide territory area. So what people expect in one place might be different in other areas. What people need or what they value for services might be different from one place to another. There was a couple other things, Nicole, maybe you touched on it. I think maybe even Victoria mentioned it. Over on the sign under the drop-down menus, there's the KW Tech demos and exhibitors and marketplace. I was just going to mention that there is some other things in here that might be, there's definitely some vendors things, but the KW offerings right there. If you work with a lot of buyers, Keller Mortgage is a very underestimated value proposition. If you do work with buyers and you're not already engaged in what Keller Mortgage and the 0+ programs available, I would definitely look into that some more.
And there are there's a video on Keller Mortgage as well that I think like Smokey led, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah. Here, hold on. Let me see if this will work.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. They look like different videos. I wasn't sure if there's overlap, but yeah, Smokey Garrett's interview there. Yep.
Yeah, there's one, and then is that the only one? No. Yeah, Smokey, the Keller Mortgage success stories. And Smokey Garrett, I mean, he was really involved in like developing Keller Mortgage. That's always one of my favorite things to do at either, family reunion or mega camp, is to like hear about these programs from the originator. And a lot of times they're leading a panel then of people who have been really successful since then. So it's nice to see where it started and then how it's doing in the market too.
Yeah, and there's monthly masterminds around Keller Mortgage. They're on the live stream calendar. I believe they're on the live stream calendar. I know I get emails about it. But certainly Keller Mortgage. I think there was a couple others. I think not many. I think there was KW Kids Can, which is Quantum Leap for young adults. And let me see what else was there. MAPS Coaching. They have a video for that in KW Worldwide. Below that is Command Your Business. So there's about 6 videos there, and maybe that's what Victoria mentioned earlier.
Yes, this is
Yeah.
where they're at. And actually, I have a technical question about the mortgages. Can I ask?
Yeah, these
Sure.
Go ahead, Vic.
I usually, the buyers, I send them to the Keller Mortgage, right? And there is the
Yes.
number doesn't add up and everything like that. Can I call, like, let's say Randy or Aaron just to do it, or just one time deal? Because they didn't help me and my client.
Were they able to qualify them, or they were not able to qualify them?
They were not able to qualify.
Okay. Well, I would definitely recommend your clients three options. Randy, we have Randy and Aaron and Keller Mortgage. I would definitely give them options if Keller Mortgage can't help them. I think because of the cost savings, I would go there first because of the 0+ program. But I know there are some qualifications, but if they can't help them, certainly go out to Randy and Aaron.
Because I've been thinking about it, and I kind of like, they have a deadline by the end of October. So I some disputes on her account or whatnot. And if nothing happens, I was just wondering, because I know that every single time they check the credit score and everything like that, it affects the client's numbers and all. So my question, how, like 6 months I should wait, 3 months, 1 month, 6 months in between the inquiries?
That's a good question. I don't know the answer to that. When I send you,
Sorry?
you froze, Frank.
I was just going to say, I don't know that, I don't know if credit scores are affected the same way that they used to be by the searches. It's a good question. We'll get you the answer for that.
Yeah,
Okay.
or at least like who your contact would be at Keller Mortgage that would be able to advise you on that.
All right, I'll try that. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Problem.
How many experiences have you had with Keller Mortgage? Is this the first one? Victoria?
Actually, it's a second one, but she didn't qualify. For the first one, I mean, I didn't have any problem because they did it right away. This one kind of was delayed the second time around. And I was just wondering, because the girl, she's like, she works for the Ray Flanagan. It's on a commission. So
Okay.
I kind of worried about that part.
Okay, I'll follow up with you after this. We'll get some answers for that.
Yeah,
Cool. Thank you. Thank you, Frank. Thank you, Nicole.
no problem.
Okay.
So I learned something new on this call though, that like that these tech demos and like videos are still up here too. I've just been going to the video library. So I'm glad to see that there's more videos because I'm interested in the Terradatum videos up too. Great.
Yeah, Terradatum is interesting. We do use Terradatum as in the brokerage. Most of these are going to be vendors. There is DocuSign there. I think most people are familiar with it. The rest of it are going to be vendors. These are all the same vendors you can get off of KW Connect.
Mm-hmm.
I have to check out if they have a Twilio here.
Do you know how to go out through command to the marketplace to get that?
This is how I do it. Yeah. Because I went through the command and they urged me to set up the Twilio account. I hit the button and it took me to the Twilio account setup page. And this is where I'm at.
Okay.
Okay, great.
Oh, cool. And you can organize it by speaker too. So if you remember the name of somebody, but not who you wanted to see speak or what video. Oh no, it has a bio. Okay.
Well, it shows you.
The
Yeah, it
ideal
shows
if
you
they
what they're.
let it sort by location, because sometimes we remember where they're from, but not their name.
Or category, like luxury. Like it'd be cool if you could look at all the
Category,
luxury.
yeah.
Still a great first attempt though on something like this. Like, I mean, just the online experience I really enjoyed.
I did
Found it
too.
really
I thought that was
navigate.
remarkable for the first time.
Yeah,
It was
definitely.
like, that was like something they took out of Hollywood. And I'm sure they had very capable people in the background working on this, but
Absolutely.
I'm sure they were just professionals in that field.
Did anyone utilize the networking feature by any chance? And like successfully network with other people throughout the virtual experience of Mega Camp?
I did,
You did?
yes.
How did that go?
It went okay. I ended up networking with about 10 people, and 6 were probably ongoing conversations, and those that I've kept in touch with after Mega Camp. Other ones were just, I'll just call them folk connections on the platform.
Awesome. That's cool though.
Well, it's part of a networking too. I got a couple of referrals.
Oh, awesome. That's really great.
It's great.
That's definitely a success story. All right, good. I'm glad that worked out because I know that was a lot of that was the concern because a lot of times agents do go to these major regional events and they're able to network and set up those referral relationships. So I'm glad you were still able to do that through the digital platform. That's awesome.
All right. But it wasn't my initiative though.
What do you mean?
Oh, well, it's a referral partnership, just like, they goes into the pipeline. A couple of agents actually asked for the referral through the system and I agreed to it. So it wasn't my initiative in that sense.
Gotcha. Yeah, but just like, I mean, it's part of it is your initiative though, because you come up so high in those referral searches because of business that you've done in that area, right? Like when people look at the referral map, they can see based on production for certain areas.
Nicole, I appreciate your high praise of me. I really do.
Couple other things, maybe there is a place to give feedback through the event survey if you haven't done that yet. It might benefit us for family reunion coming up. I'm not sure if they're going to use the same platform, but it seems like they're planning for it to be virtual. And
Here,
they
I'll
seem
go
to,
ahead and show everyone where they can find that too, Frank. Thanks for bringing that up. So
Yeah.
if you scroll, it's here on the side, event survey.
yeah. I mean, just as a suggestion, we think that KW is going virtual. It just seems to make sense given all the uncertainty, and this platform seemed to work well. We know that there's going to be a big push and campaign leading up to family reunion. So it may very well be on the same platform and same format, something similar to this, if not
I already
the same.
took it, so it's not letting me click, but yes.
Okay. Yeah, it'll ask you a few screening questions, but yeah, just feel free to answer it, however you feel. I guess my, biggest takeaway was sometimes feeling overwhelmed, and I think that was even one of maybe Keith Cunningham's quotes. I'm looking at some of those right now, but I think my biggest thing was just kind of refocusing on what is my next domino? What is really the one thing that I should be focused on, the next one thing, such that by doing it would make everything easier or unnecessary. So getting refocused on just what's the one next thing I could do, what's the one most important next thing I can do, my next domino was my biggest takeaway, I think. And there's some different parts to that under maybe more of the leadership side. If you have, there are some leadership videos in there that might be interesting if you can access them. But there was a lot of takeaways from that side of it for me, and how we can better support our agents, because there's different kinds of agents and different needs associated with that, and how we can just bring that back to the market center and do better on delivering our value proposition to everyone here, which is really the success of each individual, personally and professionally. So.
I
Yeah,
just got access to
was,
leadership videos recently, so agents might have access too, because I didn't have it originally. So it's worth a check.
Yeah, I know some of the videos were being edited, for different legal reasons, content otherwise, but they should be available. It's pretty interesting. If you wanted to gain more insights about the direction, of the company in terms of the market centers and what Gary's sharing with us and what we're doing strategically, competitively, to keep our agents number one, those videos would definitely be worth watching. But
Definitely.
anyway.
All right. Any other closing thoughts?
Thank you for reminding me about the mega campsite.
Yeah, a couple things I'll just mention since we brought it up here today. We are going to be doing an MREA models class next week on Wednesday, the 4th. It's on the office calendar. So if you wanted to do a refresher on the MREA models, you could do that. And then on Lucky Friday the 13th, we're going to do business planning and GPS. So if you haven't done your business plan, your GPS yet for 2021, please come to that. It's going to be interactive. We're going to use the handouts and for other things that we got from Gene Rivers this year. And those would both be worth attending, as well as all the other events on the training calendar. But those two, especially since we touched on those items today.
Definitely. I would pull it up to show you, but unfortunately the training calendar is not loading on my laptop today, which will make orientation in 10 minutes very interesting. So we'll see how it goes.
It keeps kicking me out too. I kept getting kicked out of my KW. I couldn't get in a few minutes ago, but anyway.
All right, awesome. Well, thank you all so much for joining joining me. I will make sure to post the thoughts probably tomorrow with the video from today and what we chatted about. And feel free to engage in the comments if you think of anything else or watch any other great breakout sessions that you think would be helpful for everyone else in the office.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate you guys.
Happy
See-
Halloween.